It is Friday. It is Stash Wars Live. Mike the Sig Slayer here, styling and profiling in the fresh Sig Slayer gear. We are doing shit fly tonight, but I digress. Smash the like button, subscribe to the Sig Slayer station, and now let's begin the show. So, the first thing I want you guys to know is that we're going to talk about Comic-Con all night recap. I just got back, man. Crazy ass return. I mean, all kind of flights were canceled. I had to drive from Cali back to the studio in Sigsville, USA. It was crazy, man. Going through lightning storms, and it was just bananas. But I'm here, and I couldn't get any editing done. I couldn't do any new interviews this week. Just got back in town yesterday, and so I was hell-bent on doing this show this week. Matter of fact, I wanted to do this show like shit. The first day I went to Comic-Con preview night, I was like, oh, I can't wait to next Friday. I was telling cats this all week long at Comic-Con because I wanted to talk a lot about Comic-Con, pros and cons, guys. But first, let's talk about it, man. We got Toshikawa.com. What up? What up? Delano, what up, baby? I think it's the first time I saw you here on Stash Wars Live. We're going to get into San Diego Comic-Con. And Delano, you definitely want to hear what I have to say because it impacts you. It impacts what you do, what I do. Sig Slayer, right? Shout out to Jamie. What up, y'all? Now, let me know in the chat if you went to San Diego. Yeah, man, it was crazy. I was trying to hit you up, dude. I had to leave early. Had to go to LA, see the fams, and then also I was on assignment too. So I was covering a table. I was covering a couple tables. So I was literally going back and forth covering tables. You're gonna find out in a few minutes what I was doing. If you are on IG, click that link and head over to Sig Slayer Station because that's where you'll be able to interact with all the homies over here. Let me know in the chat first and foremost if you went to San Diego Comic-Con, like my man Toshikawa right here. And so we're gonna get started, man. So I don't like to start things off with bad news. Okay, I got plenty of bad news, but I got lots of good news. So let's start there. Okay, where should I start? All right, the highlight of San Diego Comic-Con is always the names, guys. The biggest names in the business, they're at San Diego. You had Andy Kubert, you had Tony Daniel, you had Scott Snyder, Nick Dragata, Daniel Warren Johnson. I mean, the list goes on and on. And then there's people that are not announced that just pop up out of nowhere. And so if you are into the biggest names in the comic book industry, San Diego Comic-Con is one of those shows to go to, okay? Lots of freebies, lots of exclusive comics. Those are always a big draw at San Diego Comic-Con. Usually Alex Ross booth has one. Jim Lee had some awesome absolute Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman exclusives that I'm going to talk about later. If you're into that type of thing, this is the show for you, right? But this is like my 26th or 27th San Diego Comic-Con, so I'm no rookie to the game, and I'm very qualified to talk about the things that I'm going to talk about tonight. But I would say one of the highlights, there was lots of highlights, but one of the highlights was covering 24/7 Comics here. Shout out to Carl Choi. This is the publisher of 24/7 Comics. And I got to say, the indie comics ruled. I loved covering the indie comics scene this year. You see Mark Teixeira right here. This dude is a riot. If you don't know about Mark Teixeira, famous for Ghost Rider and all of that. But if you haven't met him, this dude is hilarious. He is brutally honest. One of the more brutally honest people I've ever seen. There was there was a point, right? I'm covering the table just before I was shooting that stuff. Some guy was like, "Yeah, man, I'll give you a card," and he was like, "I don't need your card. You're nobody." I was like, "Damn," and he was like, "I don't need your card unless I can get some work out of you, or you got booze." And he was like, "Well, I do have a brewery," and it was like, "All right, I'll take your card." So like, to Mark Teixeira was a riot. But the other thing that was cool about 24/7 Comics was the fact that they had this whole like scavenger hunt. And I don't know if you guys joined us for the Comic-Con preview, but I had Carl on the show and he explained how to get all of these different cards. And I seem to be at the right place at the right time, because every time I would pop up at the 24/7 Comics booth powered by Tokyo Pop, I got a chance to see one of the people that collected all 6 of the cards, man. And these cards were from Godtail, Sean Chen. There was a bunch. There's a Daniel Warren Johnson card that you can get, and you have to go to a lot of different booths to get them, and there was different requirements to get the cards. So it was really like collecting the Dragon Ball, so to speak. And it was really cool. Every time I would pop up and there was a new person that gathered all 6. I do have an interview with Sean Chen. I didn't get a chance to edit that, but I'm going to drop some stuff on Wednesday. So check out the stuff that some highlights of San Diego Comic-Con on Wednesday. The stuff that I can edit up, because I covered a lot of stuff. We interviewed Will Portasio. That was an awesome interview. Image Founders. So we're checking off Image Founders off our list. We're interviewing Image Founders, like gangbusters these days. We interviewed Todd, Mark Silvestri, and Eric Larson. And then boom, we got Will Portasio. And we're going to be interviewing Will Portasio on Sig Slayers on the flagship show, but getting a chance to interview him at San Diego Comic-Con, that was a particular treat for us. This was probably my highlight. We didn't know, Mark and I, we didn't know if we were going to be able to interview Wilt, because it was, it's busy. It's a madhouse at fucking Comic-Con. Comic-Con is a freaking zoo. Okay. Just so many people there. Right. And so you never know what it's going to be like until you're actually there. And someone as busy as Wills, I didn't know if we were going to have a crack in his schedule to be able to do what we're doing right now. And we got like a 5-minute interview with Will Portasio. So it was really cool. It was really cool interviewing Wills. Great experience. And you guys will see that on Wednesday. And then what is the Sig Slayers without showing the left-handed assassin, David Barron? Now, this dude, he had all kind of shit at his booth, man. This dude had remarks galore. Just beautiful remarks on, these are the absolute Batman, Doug Mahnke, and David Barron variants from issue 21. And he did, I mean, you see all the remarks on there. And then he also did some G.I. Joes right there. These G.I. Joes are fantastic. These are still available. So let me know if you guys want some of these. I'll load them up in my Whatnot shop. If you're interested in getting some more of these, a lot of them have sold, but then there's lots of different types of remarks he has. He has Scarecrow, Joker, Absolute Two-Face, and then he has these limited ones where they're a little bit more detail, and those are the ones on top, and they are numbered. Fantastic, man. This was preview night, what you're looking at. And shout out to my boy Max. He's the one holding the cards right now while we're doing this. But that Batman Who Laughs is freaking insane. And I just want to tell you, if you're on IG and checking us out, click the link at the bottom and head over to YouTube and join the fun on YouTube. But yes, David Barron, is obviously a member of the channel. And I was not expecting him to have this many awesome remarks there. And yes, and he sold a bunch of these, man, because every time somebody would pass his booth, they would stop and be like, oh shit, like what's going on over here, right? And then Sanford Green, man. Sanford Green signing the absolute Batman 15. This was a 1 out of 25 variant right there. And you see Scott Snyder signed this as well. It's always great to see Sanford Green. Last time I saw him was in North Carolina, his stomping grounds at Heroes Con. And so Sanford Green is probably one of the most, I want to say, popular and popping artists right now, especially in the hip hop community. I mean, legend has it, Marvel. He's doing shit with Wu-Tang, as you see the Wu-Tang shirt he's wearing right now. Sanford Green is the man. Yeah, those are nice. Let me know if you want some, man. I'll let you know which ones we have left. A couple people in the chat have bought some. And so, yeah, we have plenty of those. And Dave, like I said, David Barron's a part of our channel. And he's that's his variant as well. Yeah, Sanford Green actually was talking to Felix, at Felix Comics, and during this time, and he was letting Felix know about the Sig Slayers, man. He was like, yo, man, these guys go all over getting Sigs and getting interviews and stuff like that. So I respect my man Sanford Green. Yeah, he'll be at New York Comic-Con for sure. And if you're going to Baltimore, he's going to be there too. And spoiler alert, Sig Slayers will have a table in Artist Alley at Baltimore. So that's a little teaser for you guys. And yes, my man Jamie here was lucky enough to get 2 of those Barons, man. I'm telling you, they look even better in person. I shit you not. Moving on, Scott Williams. Now I'm working on a project here because I'm going to see Jim Lee in Baltimore. So a lot of the books Scott Williams is signing right here, they're going to be in front of Jim Lee in Baltimore. And you already know what goodies these are. These are Fire and Desire. Already got Chris Claremont on these X-Men #1s, all 4 of them. And then I got some Batman Deadpool variants and Batman Deadpool and Spider-Man, Superman Spider-Man. And so, yeah, these are all going to be in front of Mr. Jim Lee, but I have to hit up Scott Williams first. And so, yes, this is creme de la creme shit right here. Smash the like button if you're coming in, and thank you guys for watching the stream tonight. We're going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con. We are recapping San Diego Comic-Con. We are talking about the pros of San Diego Comic-Con right now, and then we're going to get into the cons, but these are the pros. And what is San Diego Comic-Con without seeing the Gradient General, the Sultan of Shade, the Color Commander, the Houdini of Hue, Alex Sinclair. It's a tradition. I've been seeing Alex Sinclair at this very con for almost 30 years. He's one of the oldest creators that I'm friends with, and I make it a mission to see Alex Sinclair. And as you can see here, he is hooking up these Superman Spider-Mans that Jim Lee are going to sign. And if you guys don't know, and if you're going to go, all 3, Jim Lee, Scott Williams, and Alex Sinclair will be at Terrificon in a couple weeks, man. So check that out. Tino, what up? What up, man? We talking about San Diego Comic-Con. We're about to get really real tonight, man. We're going to get real tonight. Alex Sinclair, one of my favorite people in all of comics. Then, dude, I was at the right place at the right time. This is when Todd McFarlane and Jeff Johns they're actually filming something right now. This is right before the first Thursday signing for Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok. And they're doing a promo for the McFarlane Geiger figure here. And shout out to my homie Endless, because he actually has the original art to the box of the McFarlane toys. What up? My man Charles is in the building, man. Our business in the business. What up, dude? We're about to break this down, y'all. And right now, like I said, we're going over the pros right now. So as you can see right now, right in front of my camera, this is all original footage. This is Todd McFarlane and Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns is my favorite writer of all time, and it's not even close. And Todd McFarlane, to me, is the most, after Stan Lee passed away, I think he is the #1 ambassador of all the comics. He's the #1 ambassador of indie comics as well, and doing it yourself. So if you are an indie creator like my man Charles and my man Martinez Wade that was here, this should be your hero, because Todd McFarlane is all about you guys creating your own destiny, man. Betting on yourself. Betting on yourself. Hey, man, thank you so much, man. I Have Comic Issues is in the house. And real quick, guys, I'm going to be on his channel on Sunday talking about the Sig Slayer channel. So, yeah, that's going to be Sunday night. So, shout out to I Have Comic Issues. Yeah, we're gonna be doing that. Did Jeff Johns sign? I'll show you some Jeff Johns later. That's going to be yeah, I'm going to show you that. I do my stash war later on. So yeah, Jeff Johns did sign. I got some Jeff Johns Sigs for sure. I got some rare Jeff Johns stuff. You know, that's all you do is bet on yourself. Exactly, man. You got to bet on yourself, man. Oh man, I probably got more Jeff Johns Sigs than anybody on the face of this earth, man. I've been getting Jeff Johns Sigs for almost 30 years. I have the entire Green Lantern run signed by him. Not to brag, but hey, you're on the Sig Slayer station. That's what we're all about here. All right. So I got to show this again, because, I mean, how often do you see Jeff Johns and Todd McFarlane together like this? And just to let you guys know about the layout of the show. So San Diego Comic-Con is one of the rare shows. It's almost like New York, where you will have a publisher presence. You'll have an image booth. You will also have IDW. You will have DC. Marvel, not so much. They do their D23 thing, so they just kind of make a minimal presence. They normally just try to take over Hall H. And then Dark Horse. So you have those major publishers. And then the image booth, it was kind of broken up into like quadrants. So like one side was the Ghost Machine, one side was the Todd McFarlane Productions, another side was Top Cow. And they just kind of rotated. And then there was another smaller area where it was like kind of like the various creative teams of the multiple image titles and stuff. So Scotty Young was there. He didn't have a table, but he signed under, I think it's I Hate Fairyland. I think that's what he does for Image. And so Scotty Young was there. I'm taking silence in my phone real quick. Jeez, is all hating on me right now. All right. So the image booth, that's where you saw Jeff Johns. That's where you saw Mark Silvestri. That's where you saw Todd McFarlane. That's where you saw Jason Fabok and Scotty Young and many, many more. And I'm going to get into the cons, and so I don't want to delve too more into that. But the image booth was popping because you can get a lot of free stuff at the image booth and at the other publisher booths. But here's the kicker. They will only sign products that are from that publisher, right? Or else there was an upcharge. But a lot of the times it wasn't an update. They just said no. So, you couldn't bring Marvel books over to DC and shit like that. You had to stick to the publishing line. So it's cool. You could get some, get a few SIGs here and there for free. So San Diego Comic-Con, one of the pros is that you can get some free signatures from premier talent in comics. And so that is definitely a plus. One of the highlights for me, because I think there was two people that I wanted to see the most at San Diego Comic-Con. One was Andy Kubert. The other was Tony Daniel. And because they don't show up to many shows a lot, and especially Andy Kubert here. And I'm going to tell you guys, I harassed freaking Andy Kubert, man, like multiple days. I just had to say something to him. This is preview night, so I got most of the stuff done. As you can see here, he is signing original art. Been holding on this one for a couple years, and finally got Andy to sign it. So this was a highlight for me. Had to take it off the wall to get it signed. But I was harassing Andy for a multitude of reasons. I will tell you that later. But it was such a great time, you know, because every time I see him, I'm like always asking him for something. You know, I'm trying to get him on the show. So if I get Andy on the show, it's been about 5 or 6 years of persistence. Yeah, man, he's one of my favorite. I think Andy Kubert is my favorite Batman artist, and so and his art is extremely expensive, and you know, if you can get something reasonable, and even reasonable is expensive, you know, grab it while you can, because somebody's going to get it. And so, yeah, you see here he's signing, you know, his Batman stuff, which is my favorite thing that he's done. Then Simone DeMeo. Now, look at this, Kylo Ren. Shout out if you are a Star Wars fan. Let me know in the chat if you are a Star Wars fan. This piece here is Simone's first and only Star Wars piece. And shout out to Matt Tutulio. You know, he's always been you know, gracious with us and always giving us exclusive interviews with the talent under his stable, like Simone DeMeo here. And I forgot to upload the Wolverine piece that he had, and I was there when it just sold. This Wolverine piece was insane. This guy, Simone DeMeo, is one of the more talented younger artists in the game out of Italy. I mean, his shit look digital, man. That's all, what do you call it? Traditional art right there. That's none of that is, there's no blue lines. There's no, I'm scanning it and then I'm going to ink over it. No, that's 100% pencil and ink that you see before you. And that Kylo Ren is bananas. Big shout out to Simone DeMeo. I believe Simone will be in New York. So if you're looking to see Simone, and we're going to go over the signature price guide in a moment. Oh yes, man. That's what I do, man. Nobody does it quite like the Sig Slayer, man. I've been doing this for a while. And so, yeah, man. And yeah, I've interviewed a lot of these people. So I try to give you guys a snapshot of the show and give you the real, because one of the things I'm an advocate for all the collectors, the readers, and believe it or not, I'm an advocate for the creators too. Can you be an advocate for both? I say, hell yeah, you can. Okay. And so I'm an advocate for both. And when we get to the cons, you will find that out in short order. But Simone DeMeo here is, this guy, he has freakish talent, man. And if you haven't seen his artwork up close, I implore you, if you see him in New York, 'cause that's his last appearance this year, check out his portfolio, man. You don't got to buy nothing. Just check it out. It's crazy. And then, if you have, a comic that he did, you will realize that a lot of that stuff is him. It's not it's not the Photoshop coloring. A lot of the effects and stuff like that he does in his art, that's him. And I don't know how he does it, man, but he is one of these new geniuses. And then we had our event Thursday, and this was, I would say it was like equal to the Will Spatasio interview. I always gotta, get my interviews in, and I have multiple interviews that have not been on IG because I need to sync the audio and stuff. And so you will see a lot of that stuff on Wednesday. And now that I'm back, I had to drive cross country from LA to Sigsville, USA. And it took about 25 hours. So I didn't get a chance to do my normal weekly workflow. And so this weekend I'll catch up. But there's a ton more coverage, interviews and stuff of that nature, information that you guys want to find out about upcoming comics that are being released on the indie level and on the major publishing level. So yeah, we definitely maximize our con, but then we have our own event too. Did you know Sig Slayers have their own event, and it's called BarCon in San Diego, live from the field. Okay. So this is BarCon, and David Barron here. This is the place where you can get free SIGs and free sketches. And I'm going to show you some examples. These are sketches on our now infamous Sig Slayer sketch cards, but he was also doing sketches and remarks on blanks. David is one of the more generous creators you would meet for somebody that's been in the game for 30 plus years. This was great, interacting with new fans. People found out about our event through the San Diego Comic-Con blog. So people were just showing up. We were only supposed to be there for 2 hours. For 1 hour, and we ended up being there for 2, just so that we can get all the people that showed up, sketches and sketch cards, and took pictures and stuff. So this was a great time. This was great. Another so if you guys come to San Diego, you guys got to come to BarCon, and just to let you know, David Barron wasn't the only person there. We also had Ben Abernathy from the executive public editor for the Energon universe. So if you like Transformers and G.I. Joe and now Mask, he was there. Last year we had John Layman. So we have people that show up in addition. And then, I forgot, last year we had, we had like J.G. Jones, Alex Sinclair, Steve Olive, Joe Chido. I had like a 6-7 panel interview. Shout out to my boy Jamal Anansi, that's down with Studio Sky Tiger Production and Nancy Productions as well. He showed up this show because David was actually tabling at the show. We just wanted to have a one-day event, and we just wanted to be able to give out as many sketches and sketch covers as we possibly can. So you'll see some of the BarCon coverage on Wednesday as well. So I swear to you, I'm going to, hunker down here in the lab and process so much footage so you guys can see what it's all about, because it is fun. And I know I'm going to get into the cons in a minute, but I still believe if you do go to conventions on a national level, you have to go to San Diego Comic-Con just because you want to experience it and check that off your list, just like I needed to check off Baltimore and Heroes. And then next year I'm going to Terrificon, and then I think I covered it all, and then I'll be going to Lake Como, and then I covered it all, all the ones that I care about at least. Terrificon next year, that one's a little bit hard to get to. And usually I like to keep August clear for interview schedule and stuff like that, because it's crazy doing 3 or 4 interviews a week, doing 2 whatnots a week, and I'm trying to do more of these Stats Wars lives for you guys, so you guys know what's going on with the fan expos in Chicago, with Terrificon. So we are going to talk about those things in a couple weeks before the shows, and then also letting you guys know about our Baltimore appearance, where we're going to have a table and have interviews there, and also we'll have our first exclusive prints, and we'll be having a live art auction as well. So Baltimore is going to be crazy, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Guys, let me see if there's anything good for me to say. Oh, let me do this real quick. Let's go over the signature price guide real quick. So because there was some updates, okay? The first major update, because this was his first show in a while, I have to say it, but my man Andy Kubert here, Andy Kubert is now tier 2, guys. He is tier 2. He is $20 a sig. The last time we saw him, he was 10. So, and that was sometime last year. I think it was at LA Comic-Con, either in 25 or 2024. I can't remember, but it was $10 nonetheless last time we saw Andy, and now he's $20. And I got kind of moted because I had some books that I wanted to get signed by Andy, and I had to put those shits back. So I'm like, dude, these books ain't worth the fucking cost of the it's not worth the cost of the signature. So I kind of stuck with key books, and because guys, I'm gonna tell you something. Yes, thank you, our business. Please do, man. We're gonna be giving away a lot of free stuff in Baltimore. It's gonna be dope. Guys, I want to give you guys a warning. I want you guys to see me here. All right. Don't play yourself. All right. Do not play yourself. Make sure if you're spending $15 to $20 and up on signatures, don't get them on some bullshit. Don't get them on some stuff that nobody's going to want. unless you want it, okay? Unless it's something that feels, you know, that you got some kind of connection with, by all means, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying a lot of these books aren't worth anything, like $2 or $3, $5, most 10, right? And then you think you're gonna, you know, make the value jump up that much with a $20 signature? No, you're not. People are gonna look at you like you goofy. Make sure you get books that are worth your money. Okay, do not, you know, if it's a fucking, you know, regular ass variant cover B, and you know you want Jeff Loeb on them, and he's $50. That's not gonna. No one's gonna give a shit about him like that. You know what I mean? And so, like, unless you're getting it for free or something, man, don't waste your money on that bullshit, because you're gonna be stuck with it. People are not gonna want it unless you hold it and by some miracle it becomes a key or something, and then you're winning. But I mean, the way the prices have been jacked up, I mean, just within this month, I mean, this year, I've seen price increases. You know, one was Dan Moore was $10 in Kansas City, and you know, Planet Comic Con, and at MegaCon he was $10, right? But then at the Florida SuperCon he was 15. So just in this calendar year alone, I saw price increase. And then, so since I'm here, guys, I might as well refresh your memory on some of this stuff, because I know you guys are going to be gearing up for the next batch of Fan Expos. I know you guys are trying to get those Snyder SIGs and stuff like that. I want to remind everybody that Scott Snyder is $20 a SIG, right? So he's tier 2. And then there's a 10-item limit, right? There's a 10-item limit. Now, you want to hear some, all right, I'm in the cons now, dude. I'm in the cons now. Fuck this, all right? Now I'm about to get in my bag, okay? I was talking to some people I was talking to a homie, and we was like somewhere near Comic Sketch Art, you know, not far from where Scott Snyder signs, right? And I was telling the homie, I was like, yeah, man, people using these paint markers, it slows the line down, right? If you got a shit ton of books, you got these paint markers, it really slows the line down, because you can't be quick with them. You got to let those holes dry. And so I was like, man, Heroes, they had too many cats. Not the fans, but the creators were using the paint markers, and it was creating log jams, man. And I even said it, I mean, people were competing with Chris Claremont, who's notoriously slow, right? And so one of the guys that Comic Sketch Art was like, yeah, man, I feel you on that, right? And then this other dude, I'm just gonna call him Ogre, you know what I mean? I don't know his name. I'm just gonna call him Ogre. He goes, well, you need to be an adult and do the private signing. And I'm like, private signing? Like, be an adult? What? All right, number one, where's the sign? Is there a sign here that says, hey, do the private signing? So I was like, okay, so number one, how do you even do a private sign? He's, oh, well, you got to contact us before the show. Okay, how am I supposed to know that? What, through telepathy? Okay, and then what are the conditions? Like, how many books do you need for a private signing? Can I, you know, what's the minimum? Oh, you need a lot. Like, what's a lot? Like 50, 100, what, 20, what? You know, somewhere, you know, in the 100 and up range. And you say I need to be an adult? What? He's like, oh, I didn't mean you. I meant, you know, no, you meant me, motherfucker. You meant me, okay? And what does me talking about paint markers have to do with private signings? Okay, so guys, they're about to start making these private signings chic now. Okay, so that's what that was. That was a little bit of mental gymnastics on me to try to get me to spend more money. Get the hell out of here. Okay, so that's why this 10-item limit is very important for you guys to understand, because hey, man, if you got over 10 books, so meaning right now it's 22 issues of Absolute Batman. So if you saw Scott Snyder, you wouldn't be able to get all 22 issues signed, right? Because there's a 10-item limit. And then it's not like it's easy to get Scott Snyder, guys. You have to be one of the first people, in first 30 or first 100 people, and got to get his ticket at his booth. You got to know this shit. There's people that don't even know that, and they think they can just mosey up to Scott Snyder's line at 4 o'clock and get SIGs. Hell no. You got to get that ticket. And after you get that ticket, 10, that's it. That's all you can get. So Now, if you need more than that, either one or two things, you go again and just go multiple times, which is a huge waste of time. If you're hitting Scott Snyder line multiple times in a freaking weekend, that means that's all you got is him, right? But that would just kill the whole con. You know what I mean? Because you're spending 2-3 hours in that line. I'm just keeping it real with you guys. And so be prepared. If you got 20 books and up, right? You got to start doing grouponomics now, guys, with the SIGs. Got to do grouponomics. Okay, you got 20 books. You got 20 books. Let's piece up on a private signing. That's what motherfuckers are doing right now. They piecing up on private signings, dog. That's crazy. People are piecing up, okay? Because you can't afford to do it by yourself. Because, like, who got 1,000 books? And I mean, a lot of people do. Don't get me wrong. A lot of these retailers, the private signings are for retailers, people that got legitimate businesses where they need stock, right? Not super collectors like us. So you want the super collectors to be in league with the fucking retailers? That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, man, it should be cheaper then, but it's not. It's not. It's not. It's the same $20. It's the only difference is there's no limit. And I'm not talking about Master P. Okay? They won't put a cap on what you bring, but you're in line forever and a day. I think I have something here. I'll show you what I mean. This is Us and Heroes. Did I delete it? Let me see if I deleted it. Did I delete it? No, here it is. This is us at a private signing at Heroes. Now, me, I'm there, like, helping out. I saw how wild it was and to get Scott's ticket. Shout out to my man Chris over here on IG. I was just talking about you a minute ago. This is us at a private signing. This is the day the Knicks won. Okay, and so they got Scott right there. I mean, this dude, I don't even know how this dude was even doing this shit. He was signing all day, doing all kind of press stuff. And then he got these private signings while trying to watch the Knicks game, and he was under the weather. It was crazy, man. Scott Snyder. I can't shit on Scott Snyder, though. I think he's one of the coolest dudes. And he's really about his shit. He's really about Absolute Batman, not just from the business standpoint, but he really wants us to like it. Like, I've heard him talk to so many people that were not industry people, that were just fans, just waiting, in line, and he's just very engaged and very involved with this Absolute Batman stuff. So all the success that he's getting, he deserves, because I mean, even before Absolute Batman, I remember when they were announcing Absolute Batman, and I remember how much he personally was promoting this stuff and putting it out in the forefront. And so all the elbow grease that he has done to get Absolute Batman where it's at, he deserves it. So I tip my hat to Scott Snyder in that regard, okay? But it's just all the fucking noise around him I don't like. You know what I mean? The long-ass lines, people trying to tell you to be an adult because you're not doing freaking private signings and shit. It's crazy, man. What did I get graded by CGC? You know what? I went to the CGC. I'm glad you brought that up, SEG. I went to the CGC booth, and I mean, I had a little crack in my schedule, and the line was short for a brief period. And so I asked one of the reps. I was like, hey man, I heard you guys encapsulate figures now, right? I was like, I have a prominent figure, D's nuts. Okay, can you encapsulate D's nuts? All right. So and they said no, they can't. They can't do organs and stuff like that. Maybe a mold of these nuts. I was like, I'm good. But yes, I'm not done. I'm not done. So just recap real quick. One of the cons is the fact that the private signings for people like Scott Snyder and Nick Dragata, who also has limits, that's becoming the new racket. Okay. So if you have like 30 books, you brought 30 books, like the lines are going to be crazy and all that. It's not given that you're going to be able to cover your goals. because they're putting caps, and they're putting caps on things to incentivize the private signings that they're flaky on. We had a private signing, that they told us about that we were going to, and Scott never showed up. And so it's not the most organized shindigs either. You have to wait till the show is over, like over, or sometimes at a remote place away from the show. So at San Diego Comic-Con, it's hard to travel around and all that hoopla, because as I mentioned before, the one difference between San Diego and New York is New York is in the convention, right? At Javits, right? Outside of New York is New York, right? Times Square and all that. That's it. San Diego, they shut fucking downtown. They shut it all down, okay? And all of outside is San Diego Comic-Con. They got movie promotions. They got all kind of people dressed up as, characters and shit. People blocking off streets. It is madness out there. So San Diego is a lot more immersive as a convention. I'm reading this comment on IG here. I think I got out of the signings at a good time, especially now that some people have private signings or whatnot signings. Yeah, so there's the private signings and the whatnot signings, and that's another con too. When you prioritize the whatnot people in front of the people that are there. So that was that piece, and San Diego Comic-Con is not the only show that do that. I talked about this at length about MegaCon, and I talked about Clayton Crane and shit, right? So this is not something exclusive to MegaCon, but yeah, the private signings, that's something that when I went to Heroes and the other shows earlier this year, it wasn't something that people were like promoting to me, telling me what to do, or telling me that I need to be an adult and do this. I need to graduate and do private signings and spend grands and shit. You know what I mean? That's some pompous ass shit right there. To be like, hey man, you need to be an adult, you need to graduate and fucking, get 1,000 books signed. Yeah, that's what we're doing in 2026. Kick rocks, okay? So I'm always gonna be a proponent, guys, of hey, I'm an old cowboy when it comes to this Six Land shit. So I'm a big proponent of, if there's a will, there's a way. Don't get your ass kicked out. Don't do nothing burnt out. But hey, man, try to schmooze with these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Don't try to do nothing stupid, but don't break yourself on this stuff. You know what I mean? It's like 1,000 books, 500 books on one person, and there's almost 100 different creators there. I'm a big person of diversifying your shit. Everybody's really big on the absolute Batman, and rightfully so. But dude, it's gonna crash at some point. It's gonna fall off at some point. So so make sure that you got, you have a little bit of everything. So when people go left, you're ready, right? People go right, you're ready. You got to have a little bit of everything in your arsenal. People are beating absolute Batman to the white meat showing. You know what I mean? So you gotta balance it out. And then if you're doing private signings, man, I mean, as a collector, not as a vendor, as a collector, you're playing yourself. Now, if you got a group of, 10, 15 homies and y'all want to piece up, grouponomics, right? All right, whatever. And that's what they're encouraging. But I'm telling you, you're going to feel like a simp, because now you're at the mercy of them, and they're going to tell you, oh, at this time, no, actually it's at 7. No, it's actually at 8. And then then your whole day is all fucked up. So to me, it makes you more vulnerable to them. And I always say, if you're the customer, you're in charge. And the moment you're not in charge, you're a sucker. All right. And so that's just my point of view here. Let's see some comments. I used to work conventions and had a great time and got cool stuff. But anymore, the experience might be cool. But we live in an age where it's easy to just buy, sign stuff. It is, and if you're getting stuff from me, I'm selling stuff that you can't get anywhere else, So I try to make things, exclusive. People zig, I zag. But there is the Comic Con experience, and I mean that in a general sense, the convention sense, you know, whether it be a Fan Expo, MegaCon, or San Diego. People I love going to conventions, man. You know, I'm in my element there. So I want to be there firsthand and seeing shit, you know, seeing the prices fluctuate, hopefully fluctuate down. But, you know, I understand what you're saying though, and I understand what C Santan is saying on IG. It's like, hey man, you know, I'm not willing to do this anymore because the conditions keep getting difficult. Whereas me, I'm a Sig Slayer. So I'm those conditions. Oh, okay. All right. Hold my beer. That's how I'm like, there's homies that we've been talking about when they was charging $5, we were bitching. Okay. $10, we were bitching. So we were bitching the whole way on all of these price points, guys. So I remember there was free and then they start 3 free and then $5 after that. So every little increase, we've had a little opposition, but I always, you know, you just got to know the tricks of the trade. Now, I can't be on YouTube and, you know, and tell you my secrets. That would be stupid. But all I'm saying is if there's a will, there's a way. And if you really love what you do enough, you will find ways. All right. But this private signing thing, that's for the birds, man. For collectors, that's for the birds. A 10-item limit is crazy. I think that the comic industry is trying too hard to take advantage of popularity. They're thinking about cultivating community. Thank you. That's what we need. Because what ends up happening, a Sig Slayer will turn into a fucking vulture next. There's no middle ground. It's like either you're like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and love the books, love the creators, and then you love getting Sigs, and then the conditions turn you into a freaking vulture. I'm seeing it. I'm 2026. I've seen it. You can go to MegaCon and you'll see it. Okay. Now San Diego's a little bit different because there's a lot of free opportunities. So you see a lot of the community there, but that's the one pro about San Diego. Let's talk about some more cons here. Now the biggest con of it all, and it's at the bottom, Artist Alley. San Diego Comic-Con is the worst artist alley in America. San Diego Comic-Con Artist Alley is trash. San Diego, if you're an artist at Artist Alley, I feel sorry for you. How dare you treat freaking Dan Jurgens like that? Put him on no small ass table. What the hell? All Jim Chung. I'm seeing everybody, man. David, everybody. Okay, so they got small. So the tables are smaller, right? So they're not 6 foot wide like the traditional tables. And then it forces the artists to have to stack their items up and stand up. Okay. And if you sat down for anything, people won't be able to see you. And then the other part about Artist Alley, the worst part about Artist Alley in San Diego Comic-Con is that it's used as a fucking alternative route to get to the exclusives. Okay? So the people going to and fro in Artist Alley, most of those people there, they're there to get to somewhere else. And they're in the damn way. So there's no way you can have any kind of real connection with any of those artists there because people are bumping you and shoulder to shoulder and shit. It's like, it's crazy. Or standing in the middle of the fucking aisle while you're trying to get in front. You know, they're not in line. They're just blocking the way. And by the way, they're right in front of the person that you're trying to talk to. So Dustin Wynn, I feel sorry for you, bro. Man, that's a shitty ass Artist Alley. For the prestige factor, of San Diego Comic-Con, that Artist Alley is embarrassing. I have not seen, and you guys know I go everywhere. This is the worst Artist Alley I've ever seen in my life. Okay, and every year it gets worse. It gets worse and worse and worse. And to me, look, I could be wrong. Maybe the space has been the same, but it feels like the games and, you know, like all the, you know, the Hasbros, the toys, and all of the pop culture shit is moving more and more closer to Hall H and cramming in Artist Alley. Okay. And if you, unless you're with Common Sketch Art, they keep Common Sketch Art, you know, retrofitted, right? But then let's talk about Art Germ, right? Shout out to Art Germ. I feel sorry for Art Germ too. Man, I had to go to Art Germ's line 5 flipping times because this is what they were doing, guys. And this shit is despicable. It's called a soft cap, right? You guys heard of lines being capped, right? Okay, so if the line has been capped, you got the little fan in your hand or whatever sign, and it says the line is capped. And so, okay, you think that the line is done for the day, right? But let's say somebody like Art Germ, he's signing from 2 to 4, right? And it's 3 o'clock, and the line is capped. So I go to the volunteer, and the volunteer goes, yeah, the line is capped. And I'm goes like meaning like, oh, this is done. He goes, no, you got to come back when the line gets shorter, or you just got to come back. And I'm like, okay, so should I come back in like 5 minutes? No, I don't know when. Okay, all right, cool. I'm just gonna chill over here and just let the line come in a little bit, and I can just get in. No, you can't stand over there. So I stood over there. You got to go. So I was like, all right, man, fuck it. So, you know, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. The 5th time, I wasn't even going to see Art Germ. I was actually on my way to Andy Kubert, and I saw that Art Germ's line had an opening. The dude had the little paddle still, and I was like, yo, is it? He's like, yeah, you can get in. I'm like, oh, shit. So I got in the Art Germ's line on accident, okay? Because I was going somewhere else, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get these Art Germs right now. And Art Germ is $10. Okay, so Art Germ is $10 still. So no increase on Art Germ, which is great. But real talk, Daniel Warren Johnson's line, they were doing that soft cap bullshit on Nick Dragata for sure, because it's just a table and then a line where it only has like 20 people. And then like the Common Sketch Art people, they'll have like 10, 15 people, then there'll be a line break, and then they have another 10, 20 people. So the Common Sketch Art people had a larger capacity, but everybody else, they were like shortchanging. And then they'll put, so if you weren't there right on the money, right? So for example, I was in Sanford Green's line. So when this happened, right? I'm in line, and there were people like waiting on the Daniel Warren Johnson line. So they were like, no, just get in front of me. I'm waiting on Daniel Warren Johnson. And I almost cried. I was like, man, that was me 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like doing it for Jim Lee. Like, all right, I'm about to terraform this line so I can be early for the Jim Lee, right? Yeah, get in front of me. I'm not here for this guy. You know, here, get in front of me, right? So, you know, the future is in good hands. I saw some future Sig Slayers out there doing it the way they can. You know, they had that little crew trying to get it done for the Daniel Warren Johnson line. I was in the Sanford Green line, but they were terraforming it. Why? Because the shit was going to get capped after like 10, 15 people. And, you know, and so to me, what line for Daniel Warren Johnson? What are we talking about? You guys saw the Heroes line for Daniel Warren Johnson. That shit was coiled like a DMV. It's no way you have that kind of space at San Diego. Okay, dude, freaking what's Daniel Warren Johnson's color artist? Not Frank Martin. Frank Martin, that's absolute bad man. Mike Spicer. Mike Spicer line was long as fuck at Heroes. There's no way Mike Spicer could have did that in San Diego. They would have put his ass in a small little cubicle so no one could see him. He'll be invisible to everybody. So the Artist Alley of San Diego needs help. Now let's talk about solutions. Can you guys give us solutions? Hold on, let's see some of these 3-foot tables. The con wants Artist Alley to price up the small press tables. Again, Nicole and Dining, the community. Yeah, it's this 3-foot. See, he was there, man. People are more concerned with the new and shiny and forget about the people who paved the way. There we go. It was a nightmare. See, it was a fucking nightmare. Now I want to go back to this. Okay, because what are we celebrating, right? What is the name of the show itself? Isn't it Comic Con? And con is short for convention. So why is it that the foundation of this show is getting treated like a bastard child? I don't get it. I do not get it. Like that was the worst. I didn't even want to go to Artist Alley because it was so terrible. So there was people I wanted to see. It's not worth it. And they have to pay for that shit? Dude, for the amount of money that they pay for that, they could have went to another show, made more money, got more access. It's crazy. So I don't understand the rationale behind the layout of Artist Alley. I'm talking about all of it. I'm talking about the actual rep tables like Felix. They got done dirty. And Felix has been there the whole time. But Felix has not been this popping, right? I used to go to see Nick Darrington at Felix booth. And, you know, it'd be easy as hell. But now that D-Dubs is bubbling, they got Eisner winners on the roster now with Dragata, D-Dubs, and Sanford Green is a superstar. You giving these dudes a little fucking sliver of an aisle? That shit is diabolical, man. San Diego, get your cake up, dog. Like, I do not understand why they would treat the cornerstone of the show is the comic creators. Okay? Now, we all know, right, that Hall H had the Avengers, right? And the trailer dropped, like, you know, I think the week before San Diego Comic-Con, right? But where is the IP from? The IP is from Marvel Comics. And so let's see. Any of those artists that, you know, that they probably homage the scene from was probably that Artist Alley being buried by a bunch of people that don't give a shit about comics. It's crazy, man. $300 to not be seen. $300 to be, you know, to be buried in your own stuff, to not be able to even engage with the people that are trying to support you. So Artist Alley, trash. Now, let's talk about solutions, guys. You know, I don't like to just bitch, you know. So what are the solutions, right? We talked about them at the show. And to me, the number one solution is to take all the comics off that floor and do it like New York. Have a dedicated floor just for comics. I don't know why. There's a lot of, you know, empty space. You know, all of the space they use to police people in their badges. They got all this empty space in the pavilion to police people in their badges. You can't turn that into an Artist Alley so that the actual people that the con was started on, based on, I mean, I'm not talking about the exact people, but the industry that built Comic-Con, right? You're treating these guys like bastards. I don't get it. I do not get it at all. I don't understand why that hasn't even been, you know, brought up, you know, but this year I had enough. And so I can't imagine if you are a lesser known artist, right? Meaning you're not Jim Chung, you're not Dustin Nguyen, you're not Mitch Jarrett, you're not Dan Jurgens, right? You're not these people. Dude, you're not doing shit. You're like, man, I wasted money on my hotel, I wasted money on all this shit. I can't even be seen because people are using my lane to get to the DC booth to get exclusives or to get out of here, right? So it's just, it is crazy, man. And the tables are small. I don't understand how. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wish, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to some artist friends and ask them, okay, yes, it's general consensus. Comic-Con, Artist Alley is horrible, but was it worth going? So, you know, was it worth dealing with all that bullshit? Did you walk away with money hands over fists? And if they say, yeah, I'm still bitching because there needs to be a designated place for just them. And they shouldn't have to be compromised, by encroaching industries. Excuse me. You want to keep DC and Image and all the publishers on the main floor? Go ahead, knock yourself out. That's the way they do it in New York. They keep the publishers on the main floor. But the artist alley, man, move that shit, dude. Get it out of there, man. It's disrespectful. I can't draw a lick, guys. I can't draw a lick. But if I was in their shoes, I would be freaking crazy. And here we go. How much are tickets for San Diego Comic-Con? Thank you for the alley-oop, Black Spiders, because that's another con, guys. San Diego Comic-Con is almost impossible to get tickets from unless you know somebody, right? They sell out within minutes. Well, I would say within an hour, everything is gone. Like about an hour and some change. All the options, the week with preview night, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday is the last little sliver, right? But if you're just showing up on Sunday, mostly everything is sold out and everybody's tapped out. They're leaving early and all that shit, right? So San Diego Comic-Con, to me, the money days are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, yes. If you're a casual, you want to, see the Hall H shit and, get all of the after Eisner hype, right? Because there was a lot of Eisner hype. Absolute Batman won the Eisner as the best continuing series. So there was a lot of like hype and announcements. Sanford Green and Scott Snyder is doing a Dark Side project together. So if you're interested in that, yeah, Saturday is popping. But for Sig Slayer, Saturday is the worst day. Okay. For Sig Slayer, Saturday is the worst day. You want to get all your shit done by Friday. If you're still doing shit, that's because you're doubling up or something, doubling and tripling up. But usually your plan A's, if you do your shit right, and if you're not being a sucker and being in Scott Snyder's line all day, or going to Scott Snyder to Dragata and D-Dubs, those lines, you'll be in 3 lines the whole day. It's hard to plan around those long lines, especially if they cap them. So you could bring a whole heap of books for, let's say, Nick Dragata, and you might not get none of them signed. I had a friend that brought a whole heap of Scott Snyder at San Diego and got this much done. Okay. So it's not given. All right. So the number 2, the other con is the ticket. It's hard to get a ticket. And they're expensive as fuck, because if you don't get them straight to them, then people are trying to flip them like for astronomical prices. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not worth it. If somebody's trying to charge you $800, $900 for a week pass, tell them to kick rocks. Or I'll hold on. Tell them you can get these nuts, okay? It's, yeah, you guys can see it over here too. You get these nuts. It is not worth it, guys. It's not worth it because you're probably not going to get what you want. The exclusive lines are crazy. There was a rumor that there was a fight, but I'm finding out that there was a rumor. There was definitely a stage fight by a wrestling company and stuff. So, like, I don't know if people were conflating the stage fight with some fights in, for the exclusives or whatever. But Felix from Felix Comics said that people were saying that there was a fight at his table for the blind bags, and he totally discredited that rumor. So, but people do get aggressive, man. Okay, so let me put the button on the pass. So if you want a pass, guys, it's gonna be close to $400. Okay, $400. If you want a pro badge, it's like $390 something. What show do you pay $400 for? Okay, and then not get what you want to get. So just be in there sniffing the air. Okay, so con number 2, the prices are impossible. I mean, the price of the badge is crazy high, and it's damn near impossible to get. You got to know somebody. It's like Ocean's 11. I keep saying that. If you want to navigate San Diego Comic-Con successfully as a Sig Slayer, watch the first Ocean's 11, get your inspiration, and then figure it out. You ain't going to just do it the straight way. You can't, because it's too much stuff and too many people. I always said, guys, that the people in California, all right, in particular Southern California, they're the most informed people about comics. You will get the most competition for things. I guarantee, I know for a fact now, because I've been everywhere. And guess what? I woke up at 7 o'clock at New York. 7 o'clock in New York, and got all my freebies, got all that shit. New York is barbecue chicken. Man, New York is easy as fuck. MegaCon, easy as fuck. Heroes, easy as fuck. San Diego, you need an 8th degree black belt and Sig Slayer and a con going. San Diego is a different beast altogether. All those other shows, I can do those shows in my sleep. Easy. And get all kind of shit. You'd be like, Mike, how'd you do that? Mm-hmm. But San Diego, though, I gotta think. I gotta be like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I got fucking spreadsheets and shit. You got spreadsheets, bro. We exchanging spreadsheets. Come on, man. I don't do that for those other shows. But you got to do that if you want to get what you need to get at San Diego. San Diego is the hardest show to Sig Slay for. Okay? Period. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Okay? San Diego is the hardest show to get signatures for. And this year, it made it harder because now they're pushing this whole BS private signing stuff. So going back to con number 2, it's the badge, expensive, hard to get. So if you get one freaking day, it's not worth. If you're coming from the East Coast and you only get Saturday or you only get Friday, it's not worth it. Because the hotels, I tell you, the hotels are higher. The price are higher than Giraffe Coochie. All right. I mean, high up there. All right. So it's not worth pulling up on one day. If you from the Midwest or some shit, it's not worth it. Because all the stuff around it, the prices are high. Which brings me to number 3, greed. San Diego is the greediest show. MegaCon is a close second. MegaCon is a close second. MegaCon is a close second. But no. Dude, you know what I think? I think Lex Luthor is like the head of San Diego Comic-Con, right? Because you know the bullshit they did? Guys, this shit was diabolical. Do you know, and I'm not exaggerating, that they weakened the phone signals there? So it's hard to use your phone. And every show got bad reception. No, I'm not talking about regular old being in the convention. No, they fuck with your signal. Guess why? Do you know the answer why? Why they weaken your signal? All right. Riddle me this. What could bring a nerd to his or her knees? Cut the Wi-Fi, right? Man, a nerd with no Wi-Fi shit is like a baby with a shitty diaper, okay? Wham, wham, wham. And so what they did was they messed with your signal so that you could pay $80 a day for the Wi-Fi service. That is diabolical. That is diabolical. That is diabolical. I'm going to say that again. They weaken your phone signal so that you can pay $80 a day for their Wi-Fi. Anybody got something to say about that? $80 a day for Wi-Fi, bro. That's like almost how much you pay a month. $80 a day for Wi-Fi. I'm talking about, I was trying to do a whatnot with David, and I couldn't even fucking get the whatnot to boot up. I was trying to call a homie to be like, yo, when are you going to meet up at the room? I couldn't even make a call. And I'm not talking about in the show. I'm talking about outside. If you know San Diego, I'm going to tell you, I couldn't get a clear signal till I crossed the train tracks. Dude, everybody's like this outside, like trying to get service and shit, bro. Doing the Humpty dance, you know? Trying to get service, bro. Dude, Les Luthor was running the show, bro. Dude, think about this. $80 a day for Wi-Fi? That's crazy. And if you just came into the chat, guys, please smash the like button, share the show. We're doing pros and cons, guys. We're in the cons section right now. Artist Alley shrank like a motherfucker, in my opinion. If it didn't shrink physically, it shrunk in the mentality of the organizers, man. They don't care about comics. They don't care about comics, dude. Comic-Con does not care about comics. They care about the Eisners. They care about the big wig names, okay? So greed is number 3, all right? And I'm not done with greed, all right? So $80 a day for the Wi-Fi. They cut your signal so you can't make a fucking call or, just do normal stuff on your phone, okay? If it requires a signal, it was choppy. It's choppier than normal, okay? Transactions was stopping and stuff. And so $80 a day, that's crazy. Now, here's another part of the greed, guys. The vendors, man. The vendors' booths, man, I'm going to tell you, bruh. I'm going to say this. Don't promise people stuff and don't deliver, okay? Now, I'm waiting on some books right now signed by a prominent artist, prominent exclusives, right? And the people that were running the table was like, yo, I'm getting more of these signed by this prominent artist, and we're getting them today. Do you want some? I'm like, hell yeah, hook it up. Gave them the money, right? Yeah, man, I'm getting them any minute now. Any minute turned to, this was Friday, then Saturday, still didn't have them. Then Sunday, still didn't have them. And then by the time we went back on Sunday to check in, these fools are gone. So I paid for stuff, and I still haven't got my books. And I reached out to him on IG, still nothing. Reached out to one of the other prominent artists that works with this prominent artist. He reached out to them, still hasn't gotten back to me. So, in other words, what I'm saying is, don't sell people wolf tickets because you're trying to, make an extra buck. And now here's the thing. Do I think they're going to, run away with my money? No. I think at some point they're going to mail the books to me. But they knew good and goddamn well that this prominent artist wasn't signing those books for them at San Diego Comic-Con. They were just trying to get pre-sale money. Greed. That's not good for the community, man. Don't be doing that shit to me. Don't do that shit to me, man. If you say, I feel the same way about artists too. If you pay for a con sketch and they say, hey man, it's gonna be ready at the end of the day, that shit should be ready at the end of the day. Or don't take my money. I like the artists that say, hey, don't pay me until I'm done. Right? Gucci, cool. But people that take your money up front and then, oh, you know what? I'm gonna mail it to you, real soon. 6 months later, a year later, you still don't got your bullshit ass sketch cover, lackluster effort on it anyway. But you don't get it. You don't get it at a show. It's not called a con sketch if you don't get it at the show, guys. Newsflash. It has to be done at the show. So I don't like when that happens. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the vendors that says, hey, I'm going to get these signed by this prominent artist. And any minute now, but really it's any day. How does any minute turn to any day now? That's some bullshit. That to me, that upset me probably more than anything, because I'm like, bro, you could have kept it real with me and said, you know what, man, I'm going to get these signed and then I'm going to mail them back to you or you know what, you could just get them online like everybody else. Right. And I'd have been like, respect. But then you want to lure me on the opportunity that I'm about to get these awesome exclusives today, and then you don't even get them 2 days later? That's trash. That's trash. Yeah, dude, always, man. What we got here? So Stark Martin, why just buy books for me? Okay, man. Hey, man, I'm for the people, man. Yeah, man. Like not all. Like my thing is this: if it's a con sketch, I want it that same day. But on the off chance you can't get it done that day, I want it done before the show is over or before I bounce. Because I tell them, hey man, I ain't gonna be here Sunday. So if you can't do it by today or tomorrow, I don't want it. And they're like, no, I'm good. I'm like, all right, perfect. And so that's how I roll. All right, so greed, guys. And another thing about greed. Greed also makes people assholes in line, right? I don't like that shit, man. I don't need to cut in front of your monkey ass. I'm just keeping it real. You know how many people got aggressive with me? I ain't even in that line. I'm trying to talk to the volunteer to find out what line I'm supposed to be in. And some dude, because I guess Mark Brooks is hot right now. You know, it was like Mark Brooks and Ryan Otley and Andy Kubert all like in the same row. So I wasn't talking about Mark Brooks. It was Ryan Otley's line. So Ryan Otley. And so what they did was they had these little small ass little lanes, maybe like this big. And they fit 3 lines in them. So they were compressing everybody. And you had to keep track of the little masking tape on the floors to see what line you need to be in, right? So when in those cluster fucky situations, I always talk to the volunteer. So I'm like, look, put me where I need to go. I'm not going to guess it. So I'm pulling up to dude like, yo, I'm trying to go see Andy Kubert with the and this dude comes up with me, you're in the wrong line, da, 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 like some regular dude pressing me. And I go, I'm talking to the volunteer right now, right? Volunteer, I go, yeah, I'm trying to see Andy Kubert. Oh, you're in this line, and no one was in it. So this fool talked to me all kind of greasy, and I wasn't even in the line he thought he was trying to accuse me to be in. Greed. Mother, I'm not you. We're not equals, bro. I don't need to do that kind of crap. You know what I mean? So if you got to press somebody for a line, chill the fuck out, okay? Unless they're actually, committing a party foul, as we say, right? If there's a party foul, then great. It's toilet murder. What up, baby? I didn't see you there. Man, my man, toilet murder, man. I've been knowing him since high school. But anyway, yeah, man, if you got to get aggressive on somebody before they even know where they're going, then you're taking this shit a little too seriously, bro. Like, you don't need to be pressing up on people. And that happened to me multiple times. And I'm like, bro, I'm not even in line. I don't even want this dude. So chill. You know what I mean? So if you got to do all that because you afraid of something, dude, mind your business, okay? Unless you know for a fact that's somebody is, doing something, shady, right? Otherwise, like, you don't need to be all crazy like that. So like greed got people, and I think it's kind of what Jamie was saying earlier about, or no, it was Toshigawa was saying about they need to figure out how to cultivate the community again. 100%, because with all of this kind of price conditions and just rat race, it makes people get very hostile in a way. You know what I mean? They want it so bad, and they think you're gonna encroach on their chance and shit. It's like, man, calm the fuck down. You know how many times I've seen this dude this year? Miss me on that, okay? I don't even like Ryan Otley. You know what I mean? And that's what I have to tell him. I'm like, dude, you think I'm gonna pay fucking $20 for a signed Battle Beast? Kick rocks. Here, knock yourself out. You know what I mean? Come on, dude. Insane. So greed, cutting people's phones so you couldn't couldn't have adequate service so that you could pay the $80 Wi-Fi, diabolical. Then you got vendors, trying to do low-key pre-sales under false pretenses, shady. Then you got people just being overly aggressive, being hall monitor, so to speak. And then this is my last point on the greed. My last point on the greed. The volunteers. No, I'm sorry. I'm done with the greed. Now I'm moving on. Volunteers was trash. There were some volunteers that I've been seeing for years, and they're cool, right? But the volunteers for the Art Germ line, the volunteers for the for the Felix line, trash. They talk to people any kind of way. They're not even getting paid, bro. You over here talking to people all like you own the line and stuff. You could be polite. Why are you making our experience not fun? You know, we're already congested. You're already telling us that we can't be in line. You already, denying us stuff. The least you can do is be cool about it. Why you got to be a jerk about it? There was a lot about Comic-Con that I feel, and I said it to some friends, Comic-Con is falling off, bro. So it ain't it anymore. If you hollered at me in 2024, I would be like, Comic-Con's the shit. Yep. It ain't it anymore. Okay. It's not better than Heroes. It's not better than New York. And it's not better than Baltimore. Okay. So at best, it's fourth place. San Diego at best is fourth place. And I'm talking about comics, guys. If you're talking about getting, Tamashii Nation Dragon Ball Z figures or Hasbro G.I. Joe shit or TMNT stuff, I'm not talking about that. Or you want to play the next video game that's about to drop next year. I'm not talking about that. That's what they do at Comic-Con. Okay? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about comics. And if we're talking about sheer comics, I'm putting San Diego fourth place at best when I had it number one. So if you drop three places, isn't that a fall off? That's a fall off. That's a fall off. Oh, I forgot. 1 second here. 1 second here. Yeah. Anybody that wants to talk and join me, you will not be seen. It'll be an audio call. Just click the link there. Especially if you were people that were at San Diego Comic-Con, I would love to get your point of view. So the link's right there in the comment. It will be an audio only call, but definitely interested in your take. Am I being crazy? How many times I went to San Diego Comic-Con 26 times, something like that. 25, 26 times. That's why I know how to do all these other shows, man. Because the degree of difficulty of San Diego, it's like, in Dragon Balls when you're like, 10 times gravity in a hyperbolic time chamber. That's what it's like when you're Sig Slaying at San Diego. When you're Sig Slaying at San Diego, it's, you got to deal with all of this opposition. All of this opposition, man. Back to the volunteers, man. San Diego Comic-Con volunteers, chill a little bit. It's a volunteer job, bro. Sis. Don't be getting all greasy with people. Because, hey, not everybody's going to be as nice as a Sig Slayer. Where they laugh at you and, talk shit and, make fun of you right there and laugh, right? That's what I do. People take that shit seriously. Like those people that I was talking about, those greedy collectors that want, that really want to be aggressive. Those are motherfuckers that knock you out. Okay? So we Sig Slayer make it work. You absolutely right, Chris. My man Chris. Yeah, man. And now let's talk about the final con. The final con, and I got more good stuff, so I'm not done with the good stuff. But this is the last con I want to talk about. San Diego Comic-Con and New York, way expensive, but San Diego, I'm talking about for comics, is not worth it. It's not worth it. Unless you are being invited. If you're an artist, you're being invited, go, right? Everything's great, right? But if you have to budget out and do all of this shit and you don't know where you're going to be staying and all the, you could do Airbnb, then they fucking cancel on you last minute. Now you're trying to get something close and everything's sold out. You get on the plane, they cancel the plane ride on the way back, shit like that. It's, there's a lot of variables that go with it. So if you're an out of towner, it's not worth it to go for one day. You got to make a week out of it. And once again, this is my tip, grouponomics. Not everybody is ballers. Now San Diego is a baller ass con where, people are spending G's left and right. So in the art community, there's people, there's some high rollers there, right? So yeah, there's some high rollers, but we're talking about the Sig Slayers. We're talking about people that are collectors, that love the art, that love the writers, that like to have their unique comic, right? Those people, they're trying to spend money on the books, kid. They ain't trying to be all this accoutrement. You know what I mean? Like, come on, it's getting to the point where it's going to be pricing out people, right? And I'm not saying it's ever going to go down. So it's one of those things where you got to piece up. If you want to have a good time, piece up. You know, find a few homies, you know, get a couple badges and piece up on everything so that everything is more attainable. And even when it comes to SIGs, right? Like joining forces, like, okay, I'm going to, you know, are you going to Daniel Warren Johnson? All right, I'm going to go to Scotty Young. Give me your Scotty Youngs. I'll give you my Daniel Warren Johnson. But here's the kicker. If you guys both combine for more than 10 books, then it's hard to do that, right? Because Daniel Warren Johnson is going to have like a 10, 15 item limit. So is Nick Dragata. Scott Snyder's 10 item limit, right? We're talking about the upper echelon people. Everybody else, they, you know, throw any kind of books at them. But for people like, you know, the absolute people, you gotta be strategic about it. So I'm still trying to figure that out. The private signing thing, I want to say kick rocks on that, but hey, man, I got a shit ton of books I want to get signed. So I think it's only beneficial if I grouped up with other people and got them signed, right? But I don't got 1,000 books of Dan Mora. You know what I mean? Like, what? To me, I'm playing myself. What, 1,000 books of one motherfucker? Like, what? Like, no. I'd rather have 1,000 SIGs of a bunch of different people than 1,000 of one person. You know what I mean? So that's where it kind of forces you to like be single-minded with some of these people. And then you got people like Dan Quintana, who he's a big name, you know, very meticulous signature. So that takes time, you know. So San Diego, I'm going to conclude this con portion. I'm going to give San Diego Comic-Con letter grade a C. I'm going to give it a C. And that's the lowest grade I've ever given Comic-Con. I've never given Comic-Con anything lower than a B+. Okay? San Diego Comic-Con is a C this year. And it's a C because of, to me, the Artist Alley was trash. The Artist Alley, throw it, what that do say, pack that shit up. Pack up that Artist Alley, bro. Move it, put it on a different level. Take some notes for Comic-Con. Oh, I'm lying. I got more cons. I just realized something. I would say the worst aspect of San Diego Comic-Con, and I brought this up during the preview, the worst part about San Diego Comic-Con is they do the worst job at promoting who's going to be there. They leave it up to the individual vendors, artists, reps. So there's not a comprehensive place on the San Diego Comic-Con website where you can find out who's all going to be there. And so, you know who I didn't know who was going to be there and I didn't find out the last minute? Lee Bermejo. Now, if you're one of my homies, you know that I'm a big Lee Bermejo fan. So think about this. You don't know who's going to be there until like the week before. So if you're from out of town, that's a logistical nightmare for you because you don't know how to pack your shit. And then sometimes like 2 days before, you're already in the air. You're already trying to get where you're trying to go. And then you find out Francisco Francavilla is going to be there. Oh my, you know how many times I'm trying to see Francesco Francavilla? Man, I found out when I flew in. Too late now. Too late. So I didn't know Francavilla was going to be there. I didn't know Lee Bermejo. That hurt. I had 0 Lee Bermejo books with me. That hurt. So the promotion for San Diego Comic-Con as far as the guests, there's no centralized place. So if you've never been to San Diego ever, you know what you got to do? You know why we have the spreadsheet? Because we got to go to Comic Sketch Art. Oh, we got to do shit like this. I'll show you this right now. So boom. So you got it. All these people are going to be there, right? And so you have to put them all on a spreadsheet. And then, oh, Trinity Comics got another person. Then so as the IG posts and the Twitter posts accumulate, you start bookmarking, and then you got to consolidate and put it all on one document. So that's where the spreadsheet comes in, because you're getting the freaking guest piecemeal. And if you don't if you don't consolidate it yourself, something will slip through the cracks. But something inevitably always ends up that way, because they all the way up until, if preview nights on a Wednesday, they're announcing people Tuesday still. What can you do on Tuesday? Let's say God's gonna pull up. You know what I mean? And you want to get your Bible. You want to get your Bible blessed. Right? You missed your Bible, bro. They told you on Tuesday night, God's pulling up, and he's signing Bibles for free. You lucked out. You wasn't able to do it. You struck out, right? So like, that's the worst. Artist Alley, that's pretty bad. It's the worst Artist Alley in America. But not knowing who's going to be there as a attendee, as a person that's traveling from far. So that's what I say about the degree of difficulty is high, because you have to really curate your own guest list, on top of knowing how much they cost. And usually San Diego has at least 1 to 3 price increases, right? I mentioned Andy Kubert, right? Andy Kubert went from 10 to 20, right? And because I kept my visit on that side kind of limited, because like I said, it was a shit show. The Artist Alley, it was whack. So I kind of was like, all right, I'm going to do this over here. I got some shit, don't get me wrong, but it was like I kind of touch and went. Worst Artist Alley in America. You don't know who's going to be there, and you got to deal with, mean volunteers, lines being abruptly cut because there's not enough space. You want to see somebody in Artist Alley proper, right? Not Comic Sketch Art, not Felix, not Essential Sequential, but Artist Alley. And you can't even talk to one of your favorite artists because your backpack is being bumped all the time, and he's standing up or she's standing up, and and you're just weaving around people. It's just uncomfortable. Or you're trying to stream or do something, and they cut your signal because they want you to pay $80 a day for the Wi-Fi. Or there's somebody trying to upcharge, trying to give you a pre-sale, say a false promise that you're getting something same day, but they have zero intentions of giving you the stuff same day or same con. So I would, if there's anybody in the chat that that have any questions, that want to to join the conversation, want to share anything about their experience at Comic-Con, I still got a lot more show to go, but yeah, the links in the chat if you want to join us. Let's see what's going on here. But wait, there's more. I'll be having a great time at small comic shows. Yeah, for more, exactly, man. Shit definitely does happen. I'm not missing out. But then they upcharge on the Bibles. You know what I mean? It's like it's a Comic-Con exclusive Bible. It's gonna be $150. Just crazy shit, right? So yeah, I think I shit on Comic-Con enough. The Artist Alley is horrible. I'm not joking. My man Mark, he was in the chat here. He definitely co-signed me right here. Yeah, it was a nightmare, brother. So I'm not lying. And I know artists. They're not gonna publicly say anything. That's why I'm saying this shit, guys. Because I know artists that were complaining. Multiple. Okay? So I'm saying this because they won't. Okay? San Diego needs to treat. What up, Boogs? He's in the house over there on IG. I'm saying this because a lot of artists won't say this shit publicly. San Diego, you're treating your artists like trash. You're treating the industry that built the show like trash. The cartoonists, the artists, the writers. You're treating them like trash. And you only prioritize the big agencies like Comic Sketch Art, Essential Sequential. That's it. Okay? I don't like how they treat Felix's booth. I think Felix needs more room. I don't like how they were treating Art Germ. I think Art Germ needs more room. But you see, they make more room for the Comic Sketch Art group, right? So we could remedy that by relocating the artist alley. So I'm not just here to talk about the problems. The solution is there a floor in the convention center, since we know that San Diego Comic-Con is going to be at that venue at least till 2030. Okay, so that was the other announcement. So, okay, so 2027, can we motion for Artist Alley to be placed on a different floor completely? And yeah, you can have Comic Sketch Art. Matter of fact, it'd probably be better if you left Comic Sketch Art down there, left all those people down there, right? But no, I say do it like New York, where all of them are all together. And MegaCon got a shit ton of people, dude, and we don't run into this problem. MegaCon has a great floor plan where they deal with the overflow in a particular way. New York Comic-Con, the same thing. This is the only show where I feel like their solutions make the problems worse. Here we go. You can't stand there. See? Do they not know who they're talking to? That's ridiculous. You got to, yeah, I'm telling you, dude. And it wasn't just me, Jewish Dragons. It wasn't just me. I'm talking about anybody that was trying to get Art Germ or Nick Dragata. They were like, you can't stand there. You got to go. You can't be here. The line's capped. The line's capped. I don't know when you can come back. I don't know when you can come back. It was trash, man. So San Diego, your volunteers are trash for the comics. Trash. And I get it. Yeah, there's some greedy fans. I talked about them too. They're trash too. I got approached by a couple of them under false pretenses, right? But all because they're trash don't mean you got to be trash. Don't stoop down to these jokers level. You representing the show. You know what I mean? So San Diego gets a C, man. I'm thinking about giving him a C minus. Okay. But I can't give him lower than that because I had a good time. And just to recap, I had a good time with a lot of the homies. Shout out to Carl, 24/7 Comics. This was one of the highlights of the show. Representing the indie creators, that was to me the lifeblood for me this year. BarCon. And okay, so let me tell you about BarCon real quick. Yo, Toilet Murder, you still there? Hey, man, I'm so mad we didn't get a chance to see each other, man. But I'm gonna be back in LA in October. Okay, so I'm gonna hit you up so we can get down, man. I mean, I saw my first anime with Toilet Murder, man. It was Murder on the Toilet. But back to BarCon here. Now, I remember this moment vividly. Dude, I was so sweaty and tired and dehydrated, from being in the con, that by the time I got here and I set up my camera and stuff and cooled off, ate a Impossible Burger, man, I was on cloud nine here. I got some AC, my phone worked. You know what I mean? These dudes make your phone not work. That's some trash. So BarCon, this was a highlight. Seeing the Todd Father with Jeff Johns, my favorite creator of all time. And truth be told, Todd McFarlane is one of the best people in comics, man. For him to be so large, for him to maintain his coolness and his approachability, and he still thinks about us as the fans. Todd McFarlane is top notch, top tier. What we got here? Next time, sweep the leg. Yeah. A C is a secret D. Hey, man, you right about that, man. You right about that, man. Because my mom said, I ain't raised no average kids. You know what I mean? So if I brought home a C, shit, it might as well have been a fail because she told me that I don't got no average kids. I was like, damn. So you right about that. But seeing this moment, I was waiting on when the McFarlane toy line was going to do something with Ghost Machine. And to see my man C San, he actually got the OA for the back cover of the regular Geiger toy. This is an exclusive for San Diego Comic-Con that they're showing here. And so I got to get my hands on one of the Geiger toys here. And this was definitely a highlight. So that's why I can't bring it down to a proper, C minus D. And then you guys want to talk about some Sig Slayer, right? Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business here. And let's change this topic. All right. So now let's talk about my element, man. The stash war portion. I bitched enough, man. And I didn't. Everything that I said was not hyperbolic at all. Everything that I mentioned was the real. I kept it real with you guys, and I don't think anybody's going to be as blunt as I was tonight about the San Diego Comic-Con. And it's fell off, dog. I'm keeping it real. San Diego, fell off. I would recommend 3 shows. Matter of fact, if you're from Cali, right, and you ain't been to Baltimore and shit like that, and if you want to be seeing what the creme de la creme shows are, and you haven't been to Baltimore or Heroes, whatever, you can't say shit about Comic-Con. Just shut it up. Don't say Comic-Con is dope. Don't rank Comic-Con. You're automatically disqualified for saying anything about any other show and Comic-Con. Comic-Con is at least 4th place, okay? And it's gonna be that way until they fix Artist Alley, okay? It's gonna stay at a permanent. It might go lower, okay? Because here's why. The other shows have caught up. They caught up with San Diego in talent. So Heroes got just as much talent as San Diego, or if not more. MegaCon got the same amount of people as Comic-Con, and New York. So if you got the same motherfuckers showing up, what makes Comic-Con better than the other shows, right? The only way something can be better is if the experience is better. And I'm going to tell you right now, nothing is going to take me from the high of Heroes Con. Heroes Con number 1. Heroes Con number 1, because the community is there. Heroes Con, you will meet all kind of people from the community, no matter what level of the game you're in. So Heroes Con, Heroes Con made me feel like when I first went to San Diego. It brought me back to when I was a virgin again. It was, I was, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It was great, right? But San Diego, you're not even in the top 3 no more. You fell off. And until you treat the artists better, y'all gonna stay there. And I don't care about Marvel Comics, not Marvel Comics, but MCU and video games and all that shit's cool. Like I get Dragon Ball figures for my son, and I try to get, see what's up with Hasbro and stuff like that. But that shouldn't make the show called Comic-Con. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. All the shows have a pop cultural presence, right? But why does New York does a good job of separating that from the comics? Why does MegaCon does a fantastic job of separating the pop cultural stuff from the comics? And the comics still have the large presence there, right? So no excuses no more. So Comic-Con, they're riding off of what do you call it? Reputation. They're resting on their laurels. It's all hype at this point because that's what you got to do. Everybody got to hype shit up. It's a hype machine, but it's hype. Okay. Now, unless you and your faction of people made something pop, great. But as a whole, Comic-Con is more hype than anything for comics. Now, My man, Tony Daniel. All right, we have P-Dot's Comics here during our San Diego Comic-Con preview. And we talked about Tony flipping Daniel. And before I get into that, let me check some of these comments. See, that's the thing. So Jeff Johns will only sign at San Diego or New York. But recently, well, I take that back. When Ghost Machine first launched, they were doing a big like promotional thing. So they did a couple fan expos. They did MegaCon 2024. They did Fan Expo Philly 2024. And then I think they did the one in Denver 2024. But after that, they have not been back to any fan expos. And so San Diego is the main one. I know Jeff is in Southern California, so that's more convenient. And he doesn't go to a lot of shows, so let's keep it real. He's not a con goer. Okay. So yeah, you have to be there. You know, you got to be where he's at. And you know what? You want to see some Jeff John Sigs? I didn't put some in my stack, but I'll show you some, Delano. I did get some Jeff John stuff. So yeah, man, thank you, man. It's okay. Yeah, I'm trying to let you guys know, like, if you guys were preparing it, like I said, I suggest you go, but like everything has to be right. You got a crew with you, you saving some money, you guys got, it's almost like if you're going to another country and you don't know the language, it's better if you got somebody with you that speak the language so you can navigate the land more. You got to have somebody in the inside to kind of navigate that shit, or else what's the bunch of having 4 or 5 people that don't know what the hell they're doing, right? San Diego is not a show where you can bring buggies and wagons full of shit either. So if you're trying to like bring bulk, you'll run over a kid in that shit. You know what I mean? You'll hit somebody's girlfriend with that buggy. You know what I mean? Like, so you can't do what you do at Heroes or MegaCon at San Diego. It is not a show for Sig Slayer. It's a show for getting exclusives. Okay. It's like tag team wrestling, exactly. But you got to know what's going on. You got to be the Rockers. You got to be Shawn Michaels and Mario Jannetty. You got to Marty Jannetty. You got to be freaking the Legion of Doom, Axis Smash, right? They have coordination. You got to be like the Steiner brothers, right? If you're just going there, you got a group of 4 motherfuckers from bumfuck Italy, right? You guys gonna get L's all day long. All day long. Y'all gonna be mad with bad reception. Okay. So yeah, so you definitely, if you guys are thinking about going to San Diego Comic-Con, DM me on Sig Slayer's IG. You know what I mean? I'll give you some tips. I give people tips on San Diego every year anyway. But if you need something like, you know, specific to your mission, I'll oblige that, because I don't want you to go there and be mad, you know, because if you know the nature of the beast, then you can navigate it better, have a good time. I know the nature of the beast. The things that I'm advocating for is I'm advocating for the artist and artist alley, because their artist alley is the worst, and everybody else's experience, you know, as far as the interaction with some of these people. But yeah, I got my missions done. I still got Scott Snyder SIGs and shit. You know what I mean? I still, you know, I was able to do what I need to do, but y'all ain't me. Y'all would not be able to do what I do, you know, and I was still covering the show. You know, I was covering the show, interviewing people, getting SIGs, had my little Rolly carry-on suitcase, bought a brand new one for the show. So I was pimping the whole show, right? But I got my 8th degree black belt though. You know what I mean? So it's different for, you know, cats that's new in the game. Now let's get to this, man. The shit that I'm happy about. So I'm gonna show you some of the best shit that I got, right? Tony Daniel, guys. This dude was getting harassed too. He was getting harassed. P-Dot had him at his table. And man, I needed to see Tony Daniel to get a shit ton of books signed. And then some of my favorite art pieces that you see right there, I just took this off my wall. And some of them are behind me. Some people on IG can see him. Can you see him? What's it? Oh, you see the Jeff John side. So IG sees the Jeff John side, but the Tony Daniel side is on to the left of me. And that let me go to that. that picture here, I got to show you this. This right here, this is the still picture. So this is my number one rank. I was on, shout out to Carl Choi. I was on Carl Choi's channel talking about my art collection. This is my number one. It's the first Black Batman. This is not the first appearance of him, but this is a splash page of him. And this is not Jace Fox or those guys. This is before that. This is from Grant Morrison. People don't even know about this guy. But that person is the current Azrael Michael Lane. But this is how he got his start in the pages of Grant Morrison Batman. And this, I'm so happy to get this signed. So I brought a whole portfolio to get some art signed. And here we go. Here's Andy Kubert. This is the only Batman page I can get from Andy Kubert. I mean, this fool was selling his shit for like 17,000 and shit like that. I was like, man, that's crazy. I did not pay nowhere near that for this. I actually got this from another collector. But this is why these are the two people that I wanted to see here. And to get my art pieces signed. And truth be told, I wanted to get, a bunch of Tony Daniels signed right here. This stuff, dude, I think you guys know I carry the Cheez-It box, right? So I had a whole Cheez-It box from Costco of Tony Daniel. So I was just letting them have it. And this is Wednesday night. So I probably got, Wednesday night, I probably got maybe 150 books signed on preview night. Okay? So, and that's just casual. I was casually getting 150 books signed that night. That was casual. Yeah, Tony Daniel, man. He's one of my favorite Batman artists. See, here we go. Jewish Dragon he just validated me right here. Heroes is a far superior comic show. I would choose it anytime over San Diego. And I would too. Now that I went, this is my first year going to Heroes, and I feel like Heroes is the show that I'm probably going to replace Comic-Con with, meaning that the Hero show is a show that I would prioritize going annually. Comic-Con is a show that I will go if I feel like it. You know what I mean? I got to be in the mood for it now. And this year, now put it this way: if they move Artist Alley, then I'll go every year. But if they keep Artist Alley the way it is, and they keep treating the artists like that, I don't want to go there. I don't want to support it. When there's other shows that have those same people, right? I see Simone DeMeo twice. I seen Libra Mayo this year. Tony Daniel and Andy Kubert. That's what really made me want to get up. Because they weren't at no shows for earlier this year. Except Tony Daniel was at C2E2. Andy Kubert was nowhere else. Okay? So I went there just for that. So let's talk about books, guys. All right. FD Babby, what up? Yes, go, man. That's my boy Dave. I hope. Yeah, man. Heroes and Mega, man. I'm telling you. I don't know if you went to Heroes, but Heroes was the shit, bro. I loved Heroes, man. Heroes is dope. I met so many people that I met here on YouTube or on IG. And it's just way better, man. Like, they treat the artists better. Like Heroes is the number one Comic-Con of the year. Period. So I'm giving you my year-end recap early. Heroes is number one, guys. Period. All right. Now, I want to show you some books, right? So the first book, this was an exclusive. Okay. Now, I think they had this book for sale outside of the show, but you didn't get Robert Kirkman on it. So this was a Terminal San Diego exclusive signed by Robert Kirkman. This is my only Robert Kirkman in my stash. I'd never got any Robert Kirkmans before. No Invincibles, no Walking Deads, nothing. I got this free, okay? because you have to be at a certain place. Okay. So San Diego is one of those shows where if you're lucky, you can get something that everybody wants. So San Diego is the land of expensive freebies because boom, once it's in your hand, if you want it, it's not going to be cheap, right? And this is not a cheap book at all. But this is Andy Kubert, right? And I got this after I got into the Andy Kubert line, so that's the only reason why I didn't get this signed. And I found out that Andy Kubert signed this book free. So if I had it, I would have had this double signed, but I'll get it again. Kubert's in Burbank. I'll get it. You know. So this right here, man, this was Fire Desire. At wedding this year, told, that tape. No, Heroes, dude. Heroes was the shit. Yeah, do push-ups before every show. Yeah, you got San Diego, you gotta do push-ups, you gotta hydrate, you know, liquid IV and shit, whatever, man. I'm telling you, it's a lot of walking, a lot of waiting, and a lot of people. And the layout is not good. But this here, guys, this is the first book I want to show you. And let me know what you think about this. Robert Kirkman. Anybody got any Robert Kirkman SIGs? Am I the only one? Am I last of the party? IG? Robert Kirkman, right? So that's one. And then since, you know, I was hyped off the Avengers movie that's coming out, right? And we finally saw X-Men in the MCU. Finally, that's not on fucking WandaVision and shit. I wanted to get the first Jubilee. So I got this double signed. Okay. Now Silvestri upcharges for this. So Silvestri is tier 1, so he's $10. But this is $20. So this is tier 2 if you want it. Yes, exactly. Trade Carter for about 3 months, bro. For real, dude. Aches and pains because I'm telling you, you can't carry the wagons, so you got to have a sturdy backpack, and there's a lot of up and down crunches, dude. A lot of ups and down crunches. Lots of ups and down crunches. But this is the first appearance of Jubilee. Let me know. And you guys know, Marvel is not my bag. But this year, I've been getting a lot of cool Marvel. This is the first appearance of Jubilee, double sign. And I had to get, this is a butter-ass newsstand copy. This is a butter newsstand copy of Uncanny 266. This is double signed now. You got Chris Claremont and Andy Kubert. So this is one of the Andy Kuberts that I got. Now tell me, what we got here? Somebody's saying this. So, you know, truly sad how Artist Alley has turned out. Because of the Artist Alley, it gave me love for the commissions and working with the artists for new ideas. San Diego has truly trashed. See, even IG is agreeing with me. Everything I'm showing IG, this awesome newsstand copy. This is a newsstand copy of the first appearance of Gambit. So I got hype off the trailer. I saw Gambit. I was like, I got to take this book with me here. And Andy Kubert charges $50 for this. 50 or 40 to sign this book. So this and, you know, all the wait time and stuff. But this is a great copy. Let me know. Okay, got a few Robert Kirkmans. Okay. Don't have a Robert Kirkman. Yeah, I'm telling you, that was my first one. Which double sign Black Spiders, the Jubilee or the Jubilee or the Gambit? Which one? Which one you want double sign, right? Now this Gambit, this bad boy right here. Yeah, this is no joke, right? More Andy Kubert. You guys know Andy Kubert is my number one Batman artist. And here I had an extra copy of this. This is a very scarce variant of the first appearance of Damian Wayne, Batman 655. This is an Adam Kubert cover. And so I needed to get Andy on it. And hopefully I'll see Grant Morrison showing IG real quick. Oh, the Jubilee. Yeah, the Jubilee. Yeah, the Jubilee is fire. So this one's fire. And then I mentioned Heroes when I was bitching about the paint markers. Ruined my absolute Joker first appearance, so I have to start all over. So I this is my second attempt at this, and he still signed it in the purple paint marker here. There you go, IG. Signed it. I still need Dragata on it, and so this probably won't get Dragata on it until New York when the homie Mario goes. When Mario from Sig Slayer Whatnot rolls through. So yeah, and by the way, guys, yeah, I'm on Whatnot twice a week. I got a team. I got my boy Mario is probably on there right now. And yeah, so we got a lot of stuff on Whatnot. You know, we push a lot of stuff. I got stuff for me, stuff for y'all. And yeah, Jock is at, oh yeah, you're right. Jock charges $50 for this book too. Jock charges $50 to sign this book. Thank you for the reminder. Everything Batman. Yeah, Jock charges $50 for this. And yeah, I forgot to get Jock on this because he was in San Diego. You know why? I didn't know Jock was going to be there. Or I forgot. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me see here. Let me see. Did I pay attention to this? Is Jock on this? Yeah, he's not on this. There you go. That's why. So I didn't know he was going to be there. I stand corrected. Jock's not on this list. This is the list that I had. So yeah, I didn't know Jock was going to be there. I was mad. I was really mad. And this one, this is the 1 out of 25 variant. This is all first print, but this is Sanford Green though. So I got Sanford Green, and I'll show you right here. Sanford Green signing this bad boy right now. And this is one of 2 Scott Snyder SIGs. One of 2 Scott Snyder SIGs I got here. So I managed. Basically what I did, I didn't want to be in Scott Snyder's line. I gave my Scott Snyder ticket to my homeboy, and I was like, look, dude, just get these 2 signed, and you can get your other 8 or whatever. You know what I mean? And so I actually, hooked my homie up. So I was like, dude, I'm not about to be in this fucking line. But if you want to be in this line, I'll give you my ticket. Because sometimes I'll get the ticket and give it away. I do that. You know how many times I did that at MegaCon? I had like 4 Scott Snyder tickets and I only used one of them. And I just gave it away. Like if I like you in line and we're vibing, waiting that hour or whatever. Hey man, you want to go back in here? You know what I mean? I ain't getting this fucker again. You know what I mean? So pay it forward, guys. Do good things. So a lot of shit that I get is because I feel like, they say what goes around comes around. I hook people up with stuff and shit comes back to me. It's just like if you're a dick, somebody's going to treat you like a dick, right? So pay it forward. So yeah, my homie got the Snyder SIG for me, but I gave him the ticket, right? So I got 2 Snyders. And then I said San Diego is the land of exclusive variants. So is, New York and Mega. But San Diego, their exclusives, they hit different. This Andy Cooper one right here, though, I had to get this shit. I love this. I didn't want this in a foil either. I don't think everything should be a foil. Let me know what you think, guys, about oh, he mentioned on the IG. See what I'm saying? He mentioned on the IG. So that's what I mean. You gotta look at their socials, consolidate all the information that you bookmarked on your IG, and then put it on one document. And then if you're a friend, you share with a friend, right? You need to get a sign. You know how we do, man. I've had that Joker sign like 3 times. But the Sanford Green one, that was my first attempt. But this was an exclusive that you got at Andy Kubert's table right here. And I love this right here. This shit is fire, man. This is one of my favorite ones here. I like foils too, but I just think that, sometimes the foil disrupts the art. Whereas if you printed it on paper or cardstock, like for example, the foil of this, you can't see, it doesn't contrast, it's all dark. But this, you can actually see the figure prominently, and you see the background. But if it's foil, it's kind of all muted. And you know, I like to see the art for what it needs to be. And you know, I assure you, Andy Kubert didn't draw this for it to be a foil. He drew it for it to be colored on a traditional cover. And then obviously people like foils, so they're gonna make foils. But this here, and so I'm actually gonna take this to Chicago maybe to get Scott Snyder on it. And this is a Werther Deladera issue. So this is not a Nick Dragata. Yep, exactly, man. Everything Batman. You know, saying it right here. So is Jamie. You know, we all like foils. It's just, you know, it has to be right. Now, this is not a facsimile. I repeat, this is not a facsimile. This is the first full appearance of Damian Wayne signed by Andy Kubert. I had to get these signed again. These I love these. These are some of my favorite Batman issues. This is the first cover appearance of Damian Wayne. You guys know how crazy I am about Batman, so pardon me. I did show you guys some Marvel though. But yeah, these are keys. First cover of Damian Wayne. And then this is the Batman 666. This is the first appearance of Damian Wayne as Batman here. I love this cover for IG right there. Now, drum roll, please. This is the number one thing that I got at San Diego Comic-Con. And you saw this, right? This is the first appearance of Damian Wayne as Batman, right? Here it is. Andy Kubert remark, guys. Andy Kubert remark. You don't see these often. I got an Andy Kubert remark. Yeah, 666 is a great issue, but it makes it greater when you have an Andy Kubert remark. And then it says file copy. It says file copy right there, IG. And so I was like, Andy, what does file copy mean? He goes, oh, these books are from my collection. He's like, you know, when DC give you comps, right? This is from my comps. I call them my files. So whenever I'm looking at a reference and I have to redo stuff, I go back and look at the file copies. And so this is from Andy Kubert's personal collection here. And then he decided to do remarks on them. There was a 655 that was double remarks, but I didn't want it. I wanted this one. I'm a big Batman 666 fan. You got Professor Pig on this. The first appearance of Professor Pig. Yeah, and the Bat Devil. First appearance of the Bat Devil. But yeah, this is the number one thing that I got as far as signed books. Now, like I said, I got a ton of stuff. Oh, you guys want to see some Jeff Johns? I'll show you some Jeff Johns right now. Give me 1 second while I show this Jeff Johns stuff right here. IG, give me 1 second. I'm about to pull out the Ghost Machine stuff. All right, I'm back. And then I got a Jeff Johns Marvel sign. Here we go. I'm back. Okay, so this is for Delano. This is, I think, my favorite Spider-Man, Superman cover here. There you go, IG right there. This is my favorite, signed by Jeff Johns. I got this sign. So there you go, Delano. Got some Jeff Johns. Now, thank you, man. I love that cover too, man. I love it too, man. This is one of the rare Jeff Johns Marvel, right? And he's not with DC no more, so it makes it easier for him to do stuff. But I love this cover by Gary Frank. I'm a big Gary Frank fan, so I got this. So this is one Jeff Johns book that I got, and I'm showing that for Delano. And then I'm going to show you some rare Jeff Johns stuff that I got signed. You know, doing some Ghost Machine stuff. I don't know if you guys seen this before. Speaking of foils right here, this is a nice foil, very nice. This was an exclusive from a couple years ago, so you can't find. This is Rook Exodus #1. This is probably the most rare Rook Exodus cover right here. It's fire. Signed by Fabok. This is Jason. They were both there, Jason Fabok and Jeff Johns. So I got Rook Exodus #1. And then this is a 1/50 variant. Double signed. Rook Exodus. This is issue 2, 1/50. Issue 3, 1/50, double signed. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. It's rare, dude. Sig Slayers, man. I'll be busting out stuff. And then where's the other one? Oh, red coat. I'm sure you haven't seen this red coat before either. A couple people have it. But I just got this signed. This is a red coat #1. This is red coat #1. And you know what's funny about this? They use this same image for red coat #7. But this is red coat #1. Foil. Speaking of talking about foils. Look at that. Ooh, blinding you. Get your shades. This is red coat #1 there. And then finally, we're talking about Jeff Johns and Ghost Machine. This is a rare Ghost Machine. So this is like the first appearance of all of their characters. He'll probably come back to New York. Oh, speaking of which, I'm glad you brought that up. I was talking to the publisher or the executive editor, Mike Cotton from Ghost Machine, and he said that they're trying to go to New York this year, but they're having communication issues with the actual con. So I don't know what that means, but he did mention that he's trying to get them to go to New York this year. So if they do go, it's that means they worked it out. Now, this is triple signed. I just got this. This is Jeff Johns, Maytal Zahoot, who's also part of Ghost Machine, and Jason Fabok. So I'm trying to get this done up. And just to show you guys, there's another one. Oh, and then this is a new comic that just came out, The $1 Trillion Kid. I just got this signed by Jeff Johns as well. And I'm doing this for Delano because Delano wanted to see some Jeff Johns. And then here's another Ghost Machine. This is the color version of that. And this got Jeff Johns, Brian Hitch, Peter Tomasi, and Fabok on it. So this one got more progress on it. And then have you seen these? This is the ash can, the Ghost Machine. So this is the first cover appearance of Rook Exodus, double signed. This is the first. Oh, you finally, hold on. I thought you got it signed already. Dude, you going to Terrificon. Oh, damn, dude. I didn't know you were going. That makes me mad I'm not going. And then here's some other ash cans signed by Jeff Johns. These are the most rare ones right here. So those are the ash cans. And then I got, tons more. Tons more. Here's one. This is Geiger #1. This is Geiger #1. This predates Ghost Machine. And this is signed by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. Let me know if you got any Gary Frank signatures. Shout out to my man Endless for hooking up to Gary Frank. So yeah, man. Got Mad 6. But wait, there's more. So I mentioned, right? And this, I really saved the best for last. It was I did love the Andy Kubert, but I did mention I did terrorize Tony Daniel, right? All right. So let me show you something, guys. So the other cool part about San Diego was I got a new batch of Sig Slayer sketch cards, right? And I'm about to get these right now. Give me 1 second. So I got some. So I'm gonna show you guys some of the older ones, right? I got a really cool artist that's down with the team. His name is Jake Boston, and these are series 1 right here. These dropped last year, and I've been giving these out on Whatnot, some on here, and I'm getting a lot of these. You got none of those Sigs, hey man. I'll show you some, man. You should check out the Whatnot. I've sold freaking Julius Schwartz Sigs. Oh my shit. All right, so Jake Boston, right? So he's kind of like the featured artist on these sketch cards, right? That's Absolute. And then we also have, let me just show you a couple. Have you seen Absolute Clayface? That's what he's going to look like. And these are signed by Jagata and Snyder. I see this is all the old ones. Here we go. This is Guy Gardner by Patrick Gleason. And these are all of this is series 1. So one of the highlights of San Diego for me was I got my stock for series 2. Okay. I gave Jake the last 40 or 50. I had like 50 of the old stock left of this stock. And I just gave them to Jake. And I said, Jake, we're going to do something special with these. And then I told people on Whatnot last night that if you won series 1, that there's going to be some extra goodies that you get, because the series 1 is kind of created a whole new phenomenon. And this is series 2 right here. So last night, I believe Jamie, Jeff Johns, I think Jamie here, he won the first sketch on one of these last night. And I shipped it out already, Jamie. So maybe Monday, Tuesday, you'll be getting them. So this is series 2 right here. Oh, I didn't show you guys series 1. Here we go. I'm grabbing this off my desk. So this is mine. That's signed by Nick Jagata and Scott Snyder. Series 1. Got the blue with the QR code. And I mentioned Tony Daniel, right? Tony Daniel, bam! We're starting series 2 off with a bang, guys. Look at this. Let me know if you got anything drawn for you by Tony Daniel San Diego. Let me know if you got any Tony Daniel Joker. Batman RIP Joker. What do you guys think about this? Is it trash? I don't think so. I think at BarCon, I think David did like roughly 10 to 20 sketches on series 2. So we always drop these off in BarCon. So the first people on earth to get these are at our events in person. And if you're in Baltimore, guess what? We're going to be giving these away. We're going to be giving some of these away. So if you're at Baltimore, and no one asked me for a sketch card, I told y'all, hey, if you see me in San Diego, say, hey, Mike, you have any sketch cards? And I would have gave you something. Because I had them on me. What do you think of this Joker? I have more, too. For proper disposal, you funny. You got the first, David Barron, right? And then this is for the people that are in the know. So if you know, you know. But this is a Batman RIP character, and this is another one by Tony Daniel. Dr. Hurt. Dr. Hurt. Let me know if you know what's up with Dr. Hurt, a.k.a. El Penitente, a.k.a. Thomas Wayne. There you go, IG. Yes, Tony Daniel blessed your boy with 2 Sig Slayer sketch cards on series 2. Look at that. Fantastic. So Tony Daniel is the man. Look at that. What do you guys think of these? Have you guys heard of Dr. Hurt before? The black glove? Sickness. But don't get it twisted, man. My man Jake's a monster. Y'all gonna meet Jake. You guys gonna meet Jake in Baltimore. He's gonna be at my table. He's gonna have sketches, 9x12 and stuff. Yes, you'll get some, dog. You come to my table. We'll have a table in Artist Alley, in Baltimore. Yeah. So this is Series 1, and these are Series 2. So I got a special plan for the last batch of Series 1. Now, before I move on, we got Sig Slayer merch. How you like it? I want to shout out Living Dreams for hooking up the prototypes of the Sig Slayer merch. And so, guys, these will be available limited run here. And I'm going to tell you, this shirt here, this is the team shirt. So you see me with it. You see Mark with it. You see David Barron, Doug Mahnke with it. And so these are for like almost like friends and family. So I will be giving these out to people on Whatnot, especially like the cats that have been holding us down. You guys are getting them, for free. But if you want one of these, they'll be available in a couple of weeks on our Whatnot. And the reason why I'm saying this shirt in particular is because these will unlock free sketch cards. These will unlock free signatures. So this is like a de facto membership shirt, okay? So if you get one of these, I'll hook you guys up with free stuff all the time, okay? Because this lets me know that you've been down with us day one. And I'm going to tell you, I've been talking a lot with Living Dreams, and we got plans for merch. We got some dope merch coming out. So these will only be one run, and that's it. And it's going to probably be less than 100, okay? So if you want to get free stuff, get one of these. If you want to support us and say, hey, man, I like your content, get one of these, because even though you'll pay for one, it will pay off in the long run. Because let me just show you some of these sketch cards, dude. Like, I mean, some of these sketch cards are worth hundreds of dollars. Like, are you a Lord of the Rings fan? Look at this. The Eye of Sauron by J.G. Jones. Look at this. That's like over $100 right there. Eye of Sauron. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan. We got, if you are into Feral and Stray Dogs, we got Trish and Tony Fleece hooking it up. Where's my favorite one? Oh, and this is still my favorite right here. Pranky by Danny Mickey. And this is all Series 1. And so I got a ton more cards coming my way. We got Dietrich Smith hooking some up. And then, guys, like I said, we're going to be having awesome head sketches and 5x7 sketches by Jake that we will be selling at Baltimore and giving away. So it just depends on the status, baby. So we're going to be dropping these. We're going to be dropping these on Whatnot, and I'll let you guys know on IG Win and stuff. And they'll be like $20, but these are nice quality. And this is a second batch, by the way, because this is like I had the prototypes last year that I wore. This is a brand new shirt. I actually got these a couple days ago, along with this dope ass hat right here, dope little trucker hat. So yeah, man, we're full on doing it, man. And we got a lot of plans for the rest of this year. So I hope you guys rock with us. And then, so moving on to updates real quick. I just gave a little updates on the shirts and the merch and stuff. But because I want to let you guys know, my plane got canceled on Monday. I was supposed to be back Monday night here. Instead, because they were trying to split me and my family up to 2 different states and layovers, we opted to drive through a crazy-ass lightning storm in New Mexico, 25 hours, all the way back. And so that killed my whole release schedule. Is going to impact our August schedule for interviews. So for case in point, next week, the first interview of August is going to be Jonathan Waychak. So I'm letting you guys know about Jonathan Waychak. But we also have Mark Wade, Evan Dorkin. Shit. Who was the last one? We just interviewed Tom DeFalco yesterday. Ron Friends week before San Diego Comic-Con. We got Kelly Sue DeConnick tomorrow. Dietrich Smith. So yeah, we interview like 4 interviews a week. So there's nobody, I repeat, nobody on all of YouTube that interview more comic book talent than the Sig Slayer station. People are starting to do interviews now. I'm starting to see people interview more and stuff, but no one got more interviews than us, and no one has more interviews lined up, like already recorded. You see what I'm saying? So and big names. Big names. And so we're going to just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. So be sure, if you haven't subscribed to the Sig Slayer station, do that right away. Let's see some of this. Straight fire. Thank you. Yes, they fit 5x7 frames. Exactly. They do. What we got here? Yeah, man. It was a crazy trip. We made the most out of it though. But it was, dude, I've never seen the lightning. I'm not to sound like a DC homer, but the lightning that we was driving through, it looked like Infinite Crisis, the sky. It was like, or Crisis on Infinite Earth, where the sky was just like, it was lightning every like 30 seconds or so, like for hours, like nonstop lightning, dude. And hail, like the lightning was so strong in certain spots that in the car, the hair on our arms was standing up. My foot felt like electricity was going through it on the gas pedal. Like I've never been so afraid that I was going to get struck by lightning. I mean, I'm talking about 200-300 feet away from us and shit, like on either side of the road and shit. It was just like, what the fuck? It's like Stranger Things. There we go. Stranger Things. You got like in the upside down. That's what that shit looked like. Just in Albuquerque. Like, I was like, whoa. Like, I ain't never seen that. I'm from LA, dog. We don't get weather like that. And apparently cats in Albuquerque, they said they've never seen nothing like this. So if you talk about yes, sir, man, I'll see you. What up? Signature King. I'm just gonna give you the quick recap, bro. The Artist Alley of San Diego. Woo, woo, woo. Right? Yeah, it was the quickening, man. Man, it was crazy, man. But I'm glad we made it back in one piece. But I say all that to say that, you know, that delayed shipment or whatnot, it delayed the production on this channel. I have so much San Diego Comic-Con footage that I still got to process. And it's kind of delayed everything by a week. So when I'm going over the whole interview schedule and stuff this weekend and give you guys the August schedule, I have to figure out who's going to, all I got is 4 weeks to do it, you know, so it's weird, but we got way more interviews than we have time. And every week we got new interviews. So we have new interviews scheduled. And so stay tuned. We got Jonathan Waychak. This guy, if you're not familiar with him, he did a lot of Spawn, but his art style is just so fantastic. And then I believe after that, we get into Mark Wade. So I think Mark Wade would be the second week in August. And he dropped some bombs, guys, in our interview that you definitely want to hear. Put it this way. Start getting your not Mark Wade. I'm sorry, not Mark Wade. Mark Bagley Bags. Mark Bagley in a couple weeks. And he dropped some bombs on there. Get your Mark Bagley shit signed, man, because that's all I'm gonna say. Get your Mark Bagleys. Get them, because he ain't gonna be doing much stuff. But with that said, Tony, I do suggest someone like you to see it, but see San Diego, but it's not gonna be like Baltimore. It's not gonna be like Heroes. You know, those are shows I would say go to. You got 5 right. What? On Terminal 1. Really? 5 Liefeld 6? What's Terminal 1? Oh, you talking about this? You talking about this? Liefeld did something like this? He came to your shop? What? Dang, okay. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Guys, wow. That is wild, guys. Okay, so before I get out of here, guys, we got Waychak next week, and then also, where's it at? Where's the slide? We got the process, and I'm going to be showing you guys BarCon footage, which is going to be great. You will see a lot of the sketches from that we did at BarCon, and you'll see, like, you know, David was killing it. Sorry, I had to drink some water. David was killing it, and the footage is great. And then you also see footage from 24/7 Comics, our interview with Sean Chin. You also see our interview with Will Spertasio. So check us out on Wednesday as well. It's not going to be live, but it's going to be, you know, editing and stuff. So it'll drop on Wednesday. Let me know what you think about our extra footage that we have here. And guys, do me a favor, especially the people that are in the chat right now, just to help your bro out. Leave a comment in the regular comments. You know, let me know how I did in the regular comments. It helps push this video. I want people to know that I feel strongly about San Diego falling off. So if you guys can leave a comment, especially right now, just go ahead and leave a comment in the, you know, regular comment section. It really means a lot, and we can keep the conversation going there. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Excuse me. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. You know, this is one of the more diverse channels as it pertains to covering comics. We got animations here. We cover indie people, and we do have we got Kurt Williams. He's an indie creator. Boys Club. I see it right there. I have his book right there. We're going to be covering that. So we do also interview indie creators. If you are an indie creator and you would like to be featured on our program, Self-Made Comics, hit us up on IG, Sig Slayers. You know, we're Sig Slayers all over the place. So Sig Slayers on IG, and Sig Slayers here, Sig Slayer Station here on YouTube. And we're Stash Wars. We also have Stash Wars on IG as well. So whenever I do this show, I do it on Stash Wars Comics, because this is the official show for that page. And yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I will be back next week. Okay, I'm trying to do this more weekly, but next week I'm going to have a guest and get you guys ready for the Fan Expo and Terrificon. I won't be there, but Sig Slayers will be there in some capacity. I think Mario is going to be going to all the shows, and then I'll be at the Fan Expo Chicago. And so you guys can see us there. And then you got Terrificon, and then the big show for us where we're going to have an extended presence. Baltimore Comic-Con, guys. Pull up at our table, you know, support our merch. You know, we're going to have, you know, prints. We're going to have signed prints by Scott Snyder, too. We're going to have original art. We're going to also have an art auction with some of your favorite artists that are going to be at the show. So be sure to subscribe and keep up with all the fun stuff that's going on here. Until next time, guys, Mike the Sixth there. I'm out. Peace.